The copper price is flying and the Horden Lake potential grows. Here to tell us more about some of the things happening at this copper project is Ivan Fairhall, the Managing Director for Pivotal Metals. Ivan, it's a pleasure to see you. How are you?
I'm great, Shay. Thanks for having me on.
What a great time to be talking about copper and copper projects with the copper price over $6 per pound. Now, we are taking the Horden Lake project one step further today by talking about ore sorting. What's a key takeaway with the announcement that's just come out today?
Look, the headline here is that we've demonstrated that large-scale ore sorting has worked exceptionally well at Horden Lake. And that really opens up a lot of meaningful development optionality for the project. So ore sorting has shown the ability to reject a large proportion of waste before it gets to the plant. So before the grinding and flotation, and we've still got strong metal recoveries. So in practical terms, that means higher plant feed grades, lower capital intensity, lower operating costs, and that's all from the front end of the flow sheet. By implementing this sort of ore sorting at the front end of the flow sheet, there's not talking about bench scale or theory. This is industrial scale XRT trials using the TOMRA equipment, which is a well-known, probably globally leading ore sorting. And so we're getting good confidence that this sorting can be incorporated into a future economic study at Horden Lake.
So why are these results so important from a cost and project level?
Well, simply, ore sorting could fundamentally change the economics of a copper project like Horden Lake. So our ore is relatively heterogeneous. So that means we have bits of high grade and somewhat near bits of low grade and everything in between. So what ore sorting does is it crush it down to sort of handful size stuff, and it can distinguish between things that have got mineralization and doesn't. It rejects them. So the test work showed we could reject up to 2/3 of that mass early, and that obviously means you can greatly reduce the size of the downstream plant, the grinding flotation, power demand, tailings facilities. These are big cost drivers in the development, and so it gives us flexibility, and we can dial the sorting settings depending if we want to maximize grade uplift, want to maximize metal recovery, and in some scenarios, even an upgraded product could be suitable for off-site processing. And so that may eliminate the need for the vast majority of processing equipment, tailings, etc. on site. So it's more than just upgrading the grade. It's about CapEx, project footprint, permitting, and just project sort of how it comes together. And that's sort of why we refer to the optionality angle. It's just adding a lot of optionality and giving us a lot to think about.
So now that you've got this data in, how does this move the Horden Lake project forward strategically, and what comes next?
Look, it's a big step forward for de-risking Horden Lake. A year ago, we put out the metallurgical test work results, and they were super important. Just basic flotation. How do we actually upgrade this ore and produce saleable concentrates? And this really, amplifies what we've proved there. And so we're looking to develop show that Horden Lake's got the potential to be a scalable, capital-efficient copper development. We've got a large, shallow resource. We're in a tier 1 jurisdiction, excellent infrastructure, clean hydropower, ticks a lot of boxes. So ore sorting now adds sort of another lever to improve the economics, reduces ESG footprint, and it could accelerate in some scenarios development pathways. So we've got to properly integrate these into our understanding of the economics of the project. We're doing some internal work. But overall, we see these results as really strengthening the investment case for the project and reinforcing its potential to become, a really highly sort of competitive and a very relevant copper project in this market, which, as you say, $6 copper. This stuff really matters.
It's great to see the Horden Lake project moving forward. And thanks for teaching investors and myself the word heterogeneous when it comes to describing ore. I look forward to the next update.
Thanks a lot, Shay.